Hi, and welcome to CryptoBiography. I'm your host, Brandon Starr. This is episode 288 of CryptoBiography, and it's part 2 of The Bite Before Christmas. And this is coming out on Christmas, and it is to complete the story, so here we go. Wayne and Katie were both jarred awake and came from their different directions to see what was the matter. They looked down and immediately spotted what Sammy was talking about. It was Santa, and not a zombie, but a human, in a full Santa outfit, complete with a big white beard. Though there were a few stains on the outfit, he did not look to be in bad shape. He was walking, not too fast, but seemingly with purpose, from the house kitty corner across from them to the Wilsons' house. He came around the garage, saw that the door had been smashed open by zombies, and continued to the house on the right. For that house, they didn't know the people who lived there, but they had seen occasional movement in the upstairs windows, so they had come to the conclusion that they were still among the living. Wayne and Katie looked at each other, then both, as one, banged on their windows to get Santa's attention. He heard, for he turned towards them, and, after a moment of squinting, waved merrily at them, then pointed at his wrist, made a circle in the air, then continued to the next house. He pointed at his wrist, like a wristwatch? Katie asked. Maybe he's asking us to wait? Yeah, you gotta be right, Wayne said, and that circle probably means he's going around the neighborhood and he'll be with us later. Won't a zombie get him? Katie asked. She was genuinely scared for this man who seemed to harbor no fear for the zombies. Santa knocked and eventually was let into the house by the Wilsons' old place. After a while he left, waving as he went, and continued down the street and out of the Sandersons' sight. But someone else saw him. Baby Jane was back in the neighborhood, and was now half shuffling, half running down the sidewalk toward Santa. Wayne and Katie gasped, but they did not dare try to help. Bonefoot was also in view. Going outside was even more dangerous than it otherwise would have been. Bonefoot didn't seem to have noticed Santa, but Baby Jane had. She was loping out of their sight after him. Wayne, Katie, and all three kids watched with bated breath. After a short time, Baby Jane headed back away from Santa, with no additional blood on her. She didn't attack him. Why not? Katie whispered. They continued to watch, but saw nothing else until over an hour later. Santa came up their side of the street, visible as he visited the house next door. He was walking as though he had not a care in the world, even bouncing slightly, making his stomach wobble. He spent a few minutes out of sight, either in front of the door or inside their home, then walked back out to the sidewalk and in full view of any zombie in the neighborhood, strode down it and then up the driveway to the Sanderson house. The Sandersons were scrambling down the stairs and to the front door. They didn't open it. Ho, ho, ho! May I come in? Santa? Wayne asked. Yes, let us talk. Wayne found his hands were shaking, but after a moment he undid the several blockades from the total defense package that kept the door barricaded, and for the first time in all the weeks since the zombies came, opened the door. It was indeed a man in a Santa costume. He seemed more or less right for the role. He was chubby and had smiling eyes and wore gold wire-rimmed spectacles on a red nose that stuck out exactly like a cherry. The volumes of white hair that flowed from under his red cap and the similar waves of white beard hair seemed all to be genuine. Please come in, said Katie, gently tugging on Wayne's shoulder so he would step back and give Santa room. Santa stepped in and looked down at the children, all of whom, even the eldest, were looking up at him in a kind of awe. Are you Santa? Said Sammy, who somehow was the first to find her voice. Indeed, and I'm planning on giving a very special gift to all of you tomorrow on Christmas. What is it? Asked Travis, who was at that slightly mercenary age. I'm taking everyone in the neighborhood to a safer place, Santa said. Safer? Wayne asked, not so much doubtful as shocked. Where? There's a place not too far away, walled and with plenty of beds and lots of people. How come the zombies don't eat you? Georgie asked, always the most practical of the siblings. Good question. The honest answer is, I don't know. When zombies see me from a distance, they come towards me like anyone else, but when they get close, they just lose interest and wander off. Natural immunity, Katie said. There's often a tiny minority of people who are immune to any one disease. You must simply be immune. As good an explanation as any, Santa said, and he laughed his big ho, ho, ho. But it's kept me busy, I can tell you, locating and bringing back food and supplies when no one else can. Also just approaching the walls when the zombies try to climb them, getting them to wander off. So, do you still have a working vehicle that can fit you all? Yes, said Wayne, a little proudly. Wonderful. I'll be leading a bit of a parade on foot. Tomorrow at noon, when we pass by, unlatch your garage door. I'll open it, then all of you will come out in your vehicle and take up the next place in line. If any zombies come, I'll shoo them away. We'll go at this rather slow speed all the way to your workshop, said Sammy excitedly. Well, yes, Santa said. We won't be making any quick trips back, so bring whatever you think you'll need with you in your vehicle. If there are any zombies nearby, don't panic. Just beep if I don't seem to have spotted them, and I'll come back and get you clear. Thank you, Santa, said Katie, and meant it. She hugged him, and he laughed again. They sent Santa on his way, hoping that nothing bad would happen to him. Then they packed up, looking for all the world like a family preparing to go on vacation, except for the useful tools and such that they also decided to bring. So we're going off with Santa on Christmas in the Explorer? Travis asked. Yes, said Wayne, who had just closed the back of the Explorer with their last bag and come back into the kitchen. Does that make our car one of Santa's reindeer? Travis asked. Sure, Wayne said. Which one? Travis asked. Wayne thought. Donner, he said, and tried not to let the irony show on his face. Katie thought for a moment, then accidentally smacked him on the shoulder. The next day was Christmas, and all through the house everyone was stirring, because they were all excited to be anywhere besides the house. The morning crawled by, and finally noon arrived. It's Santa, the kids all screamed as he walked into view, coming down the middle of the street. Baby Jane walked up to him, but a few steps away, turned and wandered away. Santa was already followed by several cars from the neighbors down the street. The Sandersons piled into Donner, with Wayne already in the driver's seat and the engine running. Katie unlatched the garage door and then ran into the Explorer. Santa lifted the garage door by hand, then went back to the road. The parade continued, and the Sandersons took their place at the end, soon followed by more of their neighbors. They went at a walking pace, rather than dashing away, but it was easily the happiest Christmas any of them could remember. And Santa said aloud, as their houses passed out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and let no zombie bite." I hope you enjoyed it. Happy holidays to you, and I hope we'll have new stuff coming next week. Of course, 1 week away from from Christmas is New Year's. So happy holidays, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Words and music copyright 2022, CryptoBiography LLC, all rights reserved. Characters and events are fictional, fictionalized, or satirical.